The purpose of this video is to teach you how to use LucidChart, which is a website that will allow you to do online charting. It also allows you to make network diagrams. It allows you to make entity relationship diagrams and unified modeling language diagrams. The service is free, and as a student you get the upgrade to the full version for free as long as you use your KCTCS email account. So what you're going to do is go to LucidChart.com and sign up for free. Go through the normal sign-up process. It will make you verify your email account. After you verify the account, they will give you all the basic features for free. To get everything else, what you need to do is to sign up for an education account. So to do that, just search for LucidChart.com education, and then this first link here says LucidChart for Education. That says get the free upgrade. If you go to the site, it tells you what the upgrade is. And then to actually do the upgrade, you just simply click here to get the free upgrade. And what it wants you to do is to register for an account, and then you have to request your upgrade. Now what happens is they will send an email message to your school email account. They will use that to verify that you really are a student, and it could take a day or two for it to actually go through. So please don't wait to do this. So go ahead and request the upgrade. Once you have actually signed up for the service, then you have access to log in and start drawing your diagrams. When you first log in, you'll be taken to the Documents window, and this is where all of the documents that you create are saved. Now the nice thing with LucidChart is that you don't have to save each individual document. As you do your work in it, automatically saves all of your changes. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to make a new document. If I click this plus sign up here to create a new blank document, it just simply creates a new blank document, and I didn't get to choose what kind it is. But if I go up here and I click the arrow, it'll bring up a window asking what kind of document I want. And we have templates over here for different things. We have categories. So if we're working on a flow chart, if we're working on an entity relationship diagram, or if we're working on UML, you select the appropriate one. Alright, so if I have a flow chart, I can click Start Drawing here at the bottom. It will open up a new document. And when it opens up the new document, what it will do is it will include what's called stencils over here that we need. And you'll notice that we have a flow chart, we have different types of containers, we have shapes that are available. We can actually upload images if we want. And then down here at the bottom we have the option to add more shapes. And the shapes are going to be categorized. So if I want to start adding things like entity relationship, I can put a check mark beside it. UML, I can select what I want to use. So if I want UML entity relationship, if I want use cases, or if I want all of it, I can click to check all of these. And then when I click save, what it actually just did is it added those over to the side over here. Alright, so if I want to provide a flow chart, I have a process here, maybe I'm going to make a selection statement and so forth. Then what we can do is we can draw lines between these by just simply grabbing the handles and then dragging. Now you'll notice though that I get this little curvy line, and we typically don't want the curved line. We want a straight line usually, or we want a right angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and then up here we have the ability to choose what kind of line we get. So do we want it to be a curved line? Do we want it to be a right angle? Do we want it to be a straight line? So I'm going to select right angle, and then now what it does is it moves it around, but it gives me an elbow there. So now I have this right angle. But what you'll notice here is that it's rounded. Now, rounded corners look pretty, but rounded corners actually have different meanings. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to get rid of these rounded corners. And so I'm going to come over here and click on Graphic. And then we have a corner radius here. We want to set this to 0. Okay, now like I said, the rounded corner looks a little prettier, but it has a completely different meaning. Alright, so then I'm going to drag another one over. Oh, hey, look, we have the rounded corners again, so I have to set the radius to 0. Alright, so I don't want to have to do this for every one that I drag over here, so I'm going to delete this one. And what I want to do is I want to set it where every one that I draw from now on has squared corners. So I'm going to click Theme over here, and we have an option that says Select Shape to use as default. So when I click on this, you'll see it says Click a shape or line to use as the new default style. I'm going to click on this process, and now what it did is it just told it that when I make a new one, I want it to have square corners. Alright, so now I want to change our lines, and I want to set a default for those too. So with our lines, I want these to be right angles. And you'll notice that they're squared, but if I draw a line from this one, I get the curved line again. Well, I want it to set all of these that every time I make a line, I want it to be a right angle. So I'm going to do the same thing, select shape as default. I'm going to select this line. And then now when I drag a line from one of these boxes, now I will get the right angles. And this is more along what I want. All right, to save a document, you can save it and give it a name. If I click up here where it says blank flowchart, it'll ask me to give it a name. So this is my sample document. All right, and then I want to download it. Well, what I can do is I can come here to File, Download As, and I have different options for how I want to download it. I can save it as a PDF. I can save it as a PNG document, graphic, JPEG. I could even save it in Visio format, which is the version from Microsoft that's the de facto standard for network diagrams. I could specify that I want the entire document. I want a page range. So let's say this document were to print out on multiple pages. I could do that. Or just simply the current page. And then when I click download, it just simply saves it as a PDF file or whatever format I have selected up here. All right, so let's say I'm working on a project with multiple people. I actually have the ability to share the document. Now, you should be able to select the share icon up here, but it's not actually working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the menu, and you'll see that my document exists here. And if I right-click on it, I now have the option to share it from here. And what I can do is I can email a link to somebody else. So I could specify who else I want to be able to modify this or be able to look at it. I can set permissions on what they can do, so they can provide comments, they can view it, they can edit it, they can share it with other people. And then I can send the invitation. What this does is it makes it where if I and another person are both wanting to work on the same document at the same time, we actually have the ability to do that. So what it will do, though, as we're working on the document, you'll see down here in the bottom you have a little chat window. And what this will do is show you all the people that are editing the document. And then up here at the top where it says all changes saved, as people are modifying the document, you'll be able to see that it's saved, and then you can go back and you can look to see what changes they made. And if somebody did something that you don't like, you can actually go back and undo that change.